The terrors of tripping on pop.
Be there! Scour the spaceways! Explore vast alien worlds!
This tin right here contains the whole rigmarole.
I used to smoke about an ounce of hash every day.
Good.
And it made me go a little bonkers.
Maybe if I occupy his mind with more duties, I can control his space.
Hi.
Big fat doobies.
Hi.
Hello and welcome to the Hot Box. Today is Saturday, July 25th, 2020, episode 209. My name's Matt. That's Grand. What's up, Grand?
What's up, buddy? How you doing today?
Good, man. Good to be back for another week. Hotbox.earth, hotboxpodcast.com. That's the website. Check it out. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube and come hang out during the week in our Dabs Discord here. Links are on the site, as always. We finished up the giveaway last week, and I believe the winner, Swag Rat, got the bottle. Been digging that knot.
Yes, he did.
And that means it's time for another giveaway. Do you want to give us a quick rundown on what this next one's going to be? This one's going to be a little different than just winning a piece of glass or a set or something. So,
Absolutely. Well, first off, I want to say hi to Vint, who is joining us now, who is going to be our Jamie for a little bit.
Hello.
Say hi, Vint.
How you doing?
He actually talks. Tooth was a mute, and he is not.
I
It's
do
surprising.
talk.
He gets to be a smartass with us, so hopefully that's going to be a little bit of fun. But
Yeah, my
welcome,
not that
Vint.
smart.
Smarter than mine.
I like that you use that to stir the pot, though. Like, hey, see this? He talks. You didn't. What's up now?
Exactly.
Yeah, Two's gonna be mad when he sees the recording.
Banhammer.
He's better than you.
Well, he edits your videos,
God.
so keep
Is
that in
Rona?
mind.
Is that-
Tooth, I think you're dope
Get
as
the
fuck.
Rona cough.
why don't you cut that out, Tooth? Just cut that out.
Yeah, Tooth's dope.
So-
You can edit his video, though.
Okay, well, the new giveaway is sponsored by all of you. Every single one of you in the Discord that has helped to make this Discord what it is.
You all
and has
owe us
bought from our
$5.
sponsors, or you all owe us $5. Yep, everybody owes us $5. That's it. We're taking count, and then we're gonna give half of that away. No. All the donations and sponsor money that we have gotten, we always use to better our Discord. And our first $50 that we did went to a Gary's Glass giveaway that Church won, and he got a pencil dabber, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then we spent a little bit more on a lifetime subscription to the DabBot Me6, and now we're going to take another $125, and we're going to give away that. A credit to our two sponsors, Sweet Piece of Glass or Gary's Glass Adventure. You get $125 to pick out whatever you want or put it towards something bigger. And if that doesn't fit your fancy
And you-
you want something else,
You should say,
What was
though, like, you can do that with Spog. You probably got to check with Gary to see if they can put that credit towards something. I don't know if you like.
I'm sure he'll be fine with
Okay.
it. I mean,
just wanna make sure.
he's been working with us pretty well. I'm sure he'd be fine with it.
Okay.
If you wanted to buy a $400 rig, we'll pay him $125 of it, and you pay him the rest.
Okay, cool.
I'm
I wasn't sure if
I'm
anyone actually, like, asked him before we were like, yeah, we're going to do this. Okay, cool.
I sent him all the information about this, and he was just like, yeah. I mean, he's loved everything we've done, so he's pretty much kind of just been like, go at it. We've always done everything fair. As you know, we do all of our giveaways fair, and we treat our sponsors fairly as we expect them to treat us fair.
Nice. And so if they
But-
don't want a piece of glass, maybe you already have all the glass that your wife or significant other or whatever, like, is allowing you to have. I know that might be the case with some of you. After
Absolutely.
talking with
Maybe-
some of your wives, I know that may be the case.
Yep, that is definitely the case in somebody's case. If that is you, or you're so heady that you have all of the rigs and everything you need, and there is nothing you need from any of our sponsors, we will give you the choice of a $75 gift card to anywhere. If you want to go out to a steak dinner on us, we got you. If you want a year's subscription to Pornhub, we got you.
Is
If
that
they still give cards, I'm
$75?
not sure if they do.
Is that $75? That seems
Maybe.
expensive for porn.
If not, you have like a bunch of money to throw at the people on like the virtual chat rooms. That should get you pretty far.
Basically,
I'm sure.
anything that has a gift card that you want.
We got you.
Yeah. Obviously, if it's a place that does not offer gift cards, we are probably, I mean, we'll hit them up and be like, hey, can we like give you this for that person? We'll try, but it would make it easier if it's a place that actually like has gift cards.
We're willing to work with it, but we're not just going to give away straight cash. We want to give away to some place. So you're at least going and doing something on us.
Yeah, and then that's supporting other businesses and stuff, which
absolutely
is cool.
Supporting businesses, getting everybody back out there from the corona, starting our little stimulus package. So that is our new giveaway for all of you. And again, that's sponsored by everybody here, because here I kind of want to touch on this too. We do have sponsors, but we're not a money-driven organization at any means. We are zero profit. None of us have made profit besides our sponsors who make their retrospective stuff, but they sell goods for your services. So they make money for selling a good. That's a different thing. We're not about that. But us ourselves, the money that we make at the Discord goes back into making the Discord better or giving it straight back to you guys. And that will continue to happen. That will never change. And I want you guys all to remember that. We are a nonprofit organization.
401
We're a dad-driven organization.
401c3po. That's us.
401c3po. Oh God.
It's what nonprofits have to file.
What nonprofits have to file? See, yeah. I don't know that. I'm a child still. But how do we enter, Matt? How are we going to do the enters on this one?
There's several ways. We decided to get rid of the cookie because there's too many cookie emotes apparently. So
they did take advantage of that last time.
Vinter has been on a roll, making a bunch of really cool emotes I enjoy. So we picked one out of there, going to be the Flaming Elmo emote. So you're going to go ahead, once it gets posted in the announcements channel, you just hit that Flaming Elmo, and that will give you an entry. And then, of course, the donation entries, we'll put a link to the PayPal in the show notes. And, of course, it's up here all over in the Discord. You can find it there. So you'll get an entry for every $1 you donate, like always. Watching the podcast, everyone that's here right now is going to get an entry, and then this will be the last podcast before our little hiatus. So you'll get an entry here, and then you'll get an entry on the episode when we come back, and then the week after that episode is when we'll announce the winner. I'm going to Montana for a couple weeks to see my mom and my brother and stuff, so I'm not bringing like all my recording gear, so there won't be a show while I'm in Montana, but yeah. We'll definitely be in the chat and stuff still, obviously, like keeping up with everybody while that's happening and doing sessions. I'm just only going to have my phone there. I'm not really bringing any computers. So, and
right, we're just not going to be recording the podcast.
These guys don't have a way to record the audio like I do with the mixer and everything. So it's just going to be easier to just take a couple weeks off. I think we've done a pretty good run here for bringing the show back through the Discord and stuff. So be good to take a little hiatus, a little vacation.
Absolutely.
We might have a special guest when we come back as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about that, Vinter?
Let's finish the entries first.
Okay,
so
sorry.
You can watch the shows, and then make sure you're subscribed to the Hotbox Podcast channel on YouTube. If you're already subscribed, that's fine. Just send us a screenshot of the page that shows that you're subscribed. You don't have to like unsubscribe and then resubscribe. Like just make sure you're still subscribed, and then send that shot, and we'll get you an entry for that, as well as an entry for being subscribed to the Dabs subreddit. So just take screenshots of those and send them to me or Grand, and we'll get your entry counted. And yeah.
Well, we have a little bit more I want to add on to this, so we're going to do something a little bit special for this one too. If you post a dab video on the subreddit, our dabs, you will gain 5 entries.
Nice.
Now, if that video happens to have one of Matt's songs in it from any of his albums, that will additionally gain you another 5 entries. So that's 10 entries possible right there.
Just for making a dab video. It can be a hot dab. It can be a cold dab, whatever.
Now, because we love our VIPs, we've usually done double. Now, I think I want to double that again.
Quadruple?
If you're a VIP, you will get 4 times the entries. So if you are here right now, you will gain 4 entries. If you emote with the Flaming Elmo, you will gain another 4 entries.
That's 4x multiplier for those of you dice rolling right now. 4x multiplier.
So if you donate $1, you get 4 entries for that.
As long as you're a booster.
As long as you are a booster, yes.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you boost 100 times or once. If you're a booster, you get 4 times.
Nice.
I think that's a big improvement. Double our double. I thought that was kind of cool. So I hope you guys like that too. Little shout out to our VIPs, which also we'll get into our VIPs getting a little treat later on.
And then
Is that all the ways to enter?
I think that's it. We'll have the announcement up on the announcements channel, and then if you guys have any questions, as always, just holler and we'll get you answered.
We'll
and then
post that
we
announcement
mentioned
after the show.
We mentioned the hiatus from the 1st till the 8th. We'll probably be back on the 15th or the 22nd at the latest. It just depends when I get back and everything. And then we also want to welcome Swagrat to the team here. He's been promoted to ambassador, so welcome.
Yes.
Swag. Not because he won the giveaway, just that was just a coincidence, but
it just happened to be a coincidence. He's been a really active member and been very helpful to everybody and very, very nice. And as well, what we are trying to do is become a more well-rounded team. So we always have an ambassador and a moderator on at all points in times, and that's what Swagrat's going to do. He's going to fill in that night role for us, so we have somebody on at all points in time. So if you ever need help, we are always going to be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, along with Tyzon, who is our other nighttime moderator.
So
what?
You want to tell us about your new toy?
About my new toy? I can. I don't know if it's new toy so much as gold.
Okay, well, why don't you get it out? Maybe Vinter mentioned the doctor. You got a doctor in the house that's going to come and chat with us?
New York medical marijuana. He does research. He's trying to get funding for research into other minor cannabinoids like CBC, CBN,
Nice.
Delta 8. But we're gonna have him on the show in a few weeks. Answer a couple questions you guys might have for him.
Yeah, so definitely, if you guys have any questions like that, you want to get
actually
answered.
Ask a real doctor,
not just us being like, doctor. Well, I think it. We'll get them all together and stuff, and we'll have a good interview Q&A with the good doctor.
Now, we don't know if we're going to do that live on a Saturday show. We might have to do that with our boosters at a specific time because I think he's busy during our Saturday shows usually.
Yeah, he's possibly busy on Saturdays, so.
That's fine.
But that'll be a boost for our VIPs. And if our VIPs are there, those of you watching during that interview, if it's going on during the giveaway, I'll give you another entry for watching that.
Damn.
Or another 4, I should say.
This guy's just dripping with
right?
entries. Yeah, it'll be after. Thank you.
Yeah,
Vinter.
probably after the giveaway, but I mean, if it does.
Hell yeah.
Also, so that's some cool news. So this new toy.
Ooh, what is that?
This is an Evan Shore WaterTech banger. And
look at him. Look at it. Look at him. Find you a significant other that looks at you the way Grand is looking at this ESB WaterTech right now. Like, for real.
Jeez, get a room.
Look at.
I'm sorry. It's just it's like when you start talking all soft and slow. That's how I feel right now.
Oh baby, look at that fume, baby.
Just
all trapped
like
in there and shit. Oh baby. Oh.
So before this, I have never spent more than $40 on a banger. This is a Gary's Glass House special, so it's German glass. It's not China, but I've always had either German or China bangers. Now this banger is perfectly fine. It's nice and clean, as you can see, by the way. I keep my stuff clean. This banger's been almost a year now, I think. It's been a while. So I keep my stuffs clean.
Is that from using inserts, or are you actually using that banger the way it was made to be used?
I've actually used this and used inserts.
Okay. Because that'll definitely keep them cleaner if you're just chassing up your insert instead.
I do mainly use inserts, which some of my inserts have gotten wrecked lately due to the e-nail from leaving them in there. That'll do it.
Yeah.
But this banger has a price tag of $300. So it's a little bit more than a $40 banger.
Grand will be making payments to me for the rest of his life. $1 a month. $1 a month plus interest.
Because that's all my broke ass can afford.
That's okay though.
But I'm curious, is there any difference? Like, is this really worth it?
I mean, I haven't seen you look at your China banger the way you look at that thing. So, I mean, the difference is in your heart, bro. And that's where it matters.
The difference is in your heart.
It's in your heart.
And your wallet.
In your wallet. And then my wallet.
Oh, God.
So have you used it yet, or are you just like drooling over it? Have you taken a dab with it yet?
I have not.
Okay. Are you going?
I'm waiting for after the show.
Okay.
I will go into our VIP talk lounge. Where
Okay.
everybody can come in who's a VIP, and on camera, I will take my first ever dab out of an American banger, and not just any American banger, an Evan Shore WaterTech banger. Are these like considered top of the line? Like, is this
in
the
Evan's Shore's offering, and it's definitely the most expensive banger I've ever had. Besides, I think the Fade Space, the big thermal, was $220. So that would have been the most expensive one before I got that one. But yeah, it's as far as what he offers, there's larger ones, but in the Elemental Tech or whatever he called it, I think any one of those in that series is probably mid to top tier for what he's releasing right now, I would say. And
No.
I don't know, I'm not a huge like Evan Shore fan or anything. Like I just know, I follow him on Instagram. He makes some cool shit every now and again, and
right.
there it is.
Now, see, I've actually been a fan of Evan Shore for quite a while, and I've DM'd him before, even on Instagram, asking him, like, why are your bangers so expensive? And I don't want to quote him too much, but he did say something along the lines of this. We
Okay.
hand make all of our bangers with literally the highest quality quartz we can get our hands on. They're all made in-house in Philly by a small crew of artisan flame workers. We take a lot of care making sure each piece, from the bend to the bucket, looks great and functions great.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
That's
the
definitely
top of line
worth.
quality quartz.
That's definitely worth something for sure. But you can also get quartz that's like half the price. That's just as good, if not better quality. But it's also not as flashy, right? It's not like fumed quartz or anything like that. It's just plain clear buckets. And then like what's being posted in the chat here,
That's
the
sick.
sandblasted stuff. It's definitely cool. I think I like the sandblasted stuff more than like having all of this extra shit on it. Like it goes with certain rigs, I guess, like what they're
Right.
posting in the chat. But to use as your daily, like for me at least, that's just way too much shit hanging off of it. Like it's too gaudy. I need just
Too extra.
Yeah, it's way too extra. I just need like something that's gonna hold some decent heat while I fucking cold start up my shit and fucking rip it a few times, and I'm good.
Like I feel like even this is like borderline getting gaudy. Like,
It's up there definitely, but
I feel
that's
like
more
I'm starting to get a little heady.
that's
That's
more
American excess right there.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Oh God.
What I'm really looking for these days in a banger is the fact that when I'm done taking my dab, I can grab a fucking piece of paper towel and just jam it in there, and the bucket's not gonna like snap off from a shitty weld,
Right.
I've been doing that a lot with
Right.
my heat miser. It works so good for that. And like the weld's nice and clean and strong. And I feel like I would break the joint on the rig I'm using from pushing on it before I break the bucket of the cords.
Right. Kool-Aid guy in chat says Miser's is price sales out go, and the low end one to your face. Which I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, if you win this, you can buy a top of the line diamond knot from Matt.
Yeah. But he wants a banger too. They may want a banger, which if they're in stock, we have a hard
Yeah,
time
your
keeping
bangers sell out
misers in
quick.
stock for real. But there was a few of you that got in on him last time when I got that drop. So you
And those
just
aren't
gotta
those
be
aren't too
quick.
expensive at all.
No, they're like 70 to 75, and then whatever for shipping. I usually cover shipping for you guys, but don't tell everybody.
Right. That's still like for some nice quartz, $70-$75. That's not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna take care of something, that's
And
definitely
that's
a
for
price.
like
that,
really nice quartz. The only difference is the thickness on the buckets between that and the $150 ones. Like they all have
Right.
really super nice welds. The $70 ones are round bottom and they're smaller. They're 20 mil and they're not as thick. Perfect for cold starts. And then the $75 ones, the porters, are 25 mil, not as thick as the heat misers, but with a different profile neck on them. Like the heat misers are pretty much straight across. These ones have your typical 90. So
right.
they're definitely posting some crazy quartz in the chat though.
Yeah, there is. Like, there's one that looks like Wolverine holding on
The
to the
dude
damn
holding
banger.
the bucket. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Now, how
that
much
makes me
does
want
I'm curious what something like that goes for? Are those like in the $300 price range, or are those like DH Gate $20?
I would guarantee at least
What is this 2.5K shit? Well, that's with the
2.5K
rig.
Oh my
That's
god, no.
that's with the rig. That's not
Look
just
at that
the
banger
quartz.
though.
That can't just be the quartz. That's got to be the rig and the
But
pelican.
look at that one. That's like a
Yeah.
deer with a full antler set. That's sick.
Yeah, it looks so sick when you fucking had your homie over and he tipped it and it broke the antler off. Be so sick.
Or it's the whole neck and just broke the entire
Just
thing.
the whole thing. Just knocks the whole thing off the table.
I swear to I would lose my shit. He wouldn't. I would probably kill him. I'd go to jail.
Those are the kind of pranks I'd like to see Tom Green get back into. Just go into like these heady secret sessions and then just like accidentally just knocking a table over or something crazy like that.
I would lose my shit. Oh my god, because some of that stuff's irreplaceable.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's gotta
I mean,
be.
if a glass artist made it, they can make it again. But granted, you may not get every single detail right. And when they do like chaotic color mixtures like that, obviously you're not going to get, because they didn't mean to do that. I mean, they had it in their mind, like, cool, I'm going to take these
An
colors
idea.
and I'm going to like swirl them and shit. But they weren't like, oh, I'm going to put this line here. Like, it just comes out how it comes out. Like,
Yes.
I assume you guys know that, but like wigwags and stuff, that's more like I want it to look this way. But like that kind of work right there is like just make it trippy, make it fucking swirl, and it's gonna do what it's gonna do, which is still fine.
It's supposed to be different.
I don't know
not
if
the
it's
same ever.
2.5K fine, but you know it's fine. Let's see
That's a lot of money.
from the subreddit first. Do you want to talk about the dabbing geologist? I kind of lost some karma on Reddit, which whatever. Not really a karma or anything, but I did notice that my comment was not getting a whole lot of love there. But so a little context. There was a geologist who loves dabs and wanted to have a little talk with everyone in the RDAB subreddit about quartz. Quartz in quotations, right? Air quotes.
Right.
Quartz. It says, I see you guys talking about your quartz bangers all the time. I was wondering if you were aware that the products you're using are not quartz. It is glass. Glass. Quartz, in air quotes, has become a fancy marketing term for high-quality glass, and that is all it has been since they started making, air quotes, quartz bangers. They don't use quartz crystals to make your bangers, probably not even small ones. They use recycled glass products or crushed sand. No bangers are carved out of quartz. None of them are quartz crystal that have been shaped or crystallized into a banger. The high quality bangers. I feel silly reading this because I feel like at some point somebody trolled this guy or maybe just made a post that was joking, like they were out rock hounding as wooks and hippies are wont to do, and they found like a fat vein of quartz and they're like, oh, I can't wait to carve a fucking banger out of this.
That's literally
And
what
then-
happened, though. If you go through his post history,
Is
that's
it?
actually what happened?
Oh, I don't.
Oh my god, no way.
See, I'm not a stalker. I don't generally, unless it's like on the assholes live
Vinters.
forever subreddit. Like I generally don't go through people's post histories.
Vinter's our resident stalker.
No, I appreciate that. Private investigator is the term he prefers to be.
Private investigator.
That's right.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
They say real quartz crystals are composed chemically, atomically, 100% of the same stuff as pure glass. The difference is that in glass, the molecules are arranged randomly and disorderly in all glass products due to melting forming, while in natural quartz crystals, the atoms are placed in a regular hexagonal lattice. This perfect lattice actually makes genuine quartz crystal way, way worse for heat retention. You know how much you guys love your heat retention. I know, firsthand. So basically, he just kind of and I guess that's that got quite a conversation going.
It did. It even had a second post going.
And I guess if you want to be pedantic, semantically speaking,
Shallow and
if
pedantic.
you want to be pedantic, you would say that your quartz banger was made out of fused quartz as opposed to natural quartz, like quartz. I don't know, man. Look in the chat. Milk Mother posted some real quartz bangers there. Those are nice.
Fresh out of China, DH Gate special.
Yep. Thank you for the DH Gate emote, which I will be placing on that post.
Oh my god, we have a
shortly.
DH Gate emote now?
We sure
yes. That's
fucking
amazing. Goddamn right we do.
You're goddamn right.
That's amazing. I'm so happy.
But yeah, and I feel like this guy just kind of, or girl or whatever, just kind of like walked into a trap when they made this post, thinking that like I'm a geologist, like this is my world, motherfucker. This is my shit. I'm gonna tell you guys and gals
and, they really
whatever.
Have no idea how glass works.
Just whoosh, as they say.
Whoosh.
Just yeah.
Is it bad that I may have DM'd them asking them to come on the show?
No, that would be dope. I would love to have a geologist on the show just to like talk about taking dabs and rock hounding or something and like charging crystals and aligning chakras and all that shit. Like bring him on.
I mean, even like I really would love to talk about like he's not wrong. They aren't made out of quartz and stuff like that, but they are in a sense. It's just not carved out of quartz like he's thinking.
But did people actually ever think that? Like, I'm not taking apart all of my old watches I had when I was a kid and like collecting all of the quartz crystals so that one day I can melt them in my quartz crystal cauldron and fucking form a banger somehow. This isn't fucking Avengers Endgame. We're not forging new fucking weapons for Thor here, you know? Like
Lord of the Rings.
Not Endgame, that was the one before, sorry.
While we think about that, let's go ahead and hit our ad and hit our dabs, everybody. It's fucking dab time.
This episode of The Hot Box is brought to you by Gary's Glass Adventure. Go to garysglassadventure.com and check out his shop for any of your dabbing needs. Gary's Glass has quality German quartz and bangers of all sorts. They come in all sizes, 10, 14, and 18 millimeter. Also available are quality ruby pearls and rigs from a variety of artists. Again, that's garysglassadventure.com. Use promo code R/dabs710 to get 10% off your order. This episode is also brought to you by Sweet Piece of Glass. Spog is an amazing website with lots of great pieces and a large assortment of accessories from artists like Chappelle Glass, Unlimited Glass, and Glassmith. Quartz by Jake Miser and J Red Glass. There's almost nothing you can't find from Spog. Matt always takes care of his customers, and if you're in the Discord, he'll often give you a deal. So join the Discord and check out his shop to pick out your very own functional piece of art. He can be found at sweetpieceofglass.com and in the Discord.
Nice. How was that dab? Good dab.
That was a good one. Yeah,
nice.
Not bad at all. I mean, I just kind of touching back on the whole American versus China. I don't see how it could be better. Like, does that make any sense?
What's
like it heats up and fucking heats the dab, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so does tinfoil, but yeah, there can be better materials. I think a lot of it has to do with the craftsmanship and the quality. At least that's what we found when we bought. I had listeners of the show buy the Fade Space banger so that we could test it against the China Thermal Peas and be like, why is this $20 banger hitting just as good as this $220 banger? And really, function is basically the same as long as the China banger you happen to get doesn't have a squish tube that connects the bucket to the joint. If that weld is fine and you get good airflow, then it really just comes down to, is that weld going to hold long term? Is it just going to fall off when you put your carb cap on it? Like, that shit happens with cheap, shitty welds. And when you mass produce stuff like that, you get cheap, shitty welds sometimes.
Now, what about the quality of the quartz?
Assuming that what is used is either the Herrerius, the German quartz, or the popular Herrerius. I forget how they say it. It's Herrerius or something. But between that and the American GE214, which is what everyone always talks about using, as long as it's one of those, it should be the same. Of course, working it and how good the quartz worker is with the torch and everything is going to determine if that still has its structural integrity and everything. Like, if they're over fucking torching it or something like that when they're making it, maybe it's not going to come out as good as someone who's handcrafting each individual one. And then after all of that, like, it really just comes down to, do you want to support somebody that's making a living in their own area, or do you want to support a big factory that has awful working conditions? And I mean, we can get into the whole, like, all of our phones are made like that and everything, which, yeah, a lot of that shit is. But that's basically where they're able to make it for so cheap. And the fact that they are mass producing it, and people over here like Evan Shore, Jake Miser, they're making them one by one, you know?
Right.
And then they're also doing that QA. Like, you could order 20 bangers from DHgate, and like a third of them maybe are gonna have little chips and like stress cracks in them and shit, and then shitty welds and like tubes that are closed too tight so you can't get a good pull, or tubes that are like blown way too open so it's too much of a pull. Like, they're not gonna be very much the same, like, when you get a batch of them like that. You buy.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to ground out, like, insert, well, not insert, but or
like add a little disty on the joint to get it to actually stay in. Like, that kind of shit happens, you know. And like
that is true.
Milk Mother in the chat says sometimes life is about harm reductions, and that's the best we can do. Can't be perfect with everything when we don't have alternatives. That's right. I don't know anybody making Pixel 4s besides Google, so I'm gonna just buy a Pixel 4 from Google. I do know somebody making glass and quartz, so when I can, and I generally do the majority of the time, is I will just support them. And especially now that I have Spog, like, that's all we support, and that's just the choice we made. I don't know.
Right.
That forbidden turtle egg looks nice in the chat.
Forbidden turtle egg. Let me take a look. Oh, geez. Yeah, I seen that in the live batter. Ha 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 event. You're so funny. You're hilarious.
So there was another follow-up to that. We'll put a link to this in the show notes. And Safety Comrade trying to clear up some things. And they say that the previous post about Quartz Bangers not made from carved raw quartz is 100% correct. No one is going out and harvesting slabs quartz to make your bangers, like we said. Let's clear up what Quartz Bangers really are. The mention of quartz for bangers is a reference to the type of sand that is used to make the glass that is then blown into the banger. Quartz bangers are made from the glass that uses a type of sand called quartz sand. Sand is usually lab-made quartz that is then refined into the glass. This type of glass is more clear and has better heat retention than the borosilicate glass that most pipes are made out of. So
yes,
you can read the rest of that on the Dabs subreddit.
There's even different types of... Go ahead.
My only complaint with the geologist post is he's going to have kids thinking it's okay to torch borosilicate.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
well,
like, the biggest thing he said to me was the glass in your banger is no different than the glass in your window. That is 100% false. You can
try taking a
dab off
torch to
your
your
window.
window and see what the hell happens to it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, though, that's only going to happen once.
You know, Vin, you actually, if you wouldn't mind pulling this up for me, it would be cool, but there are actual different types of glass. Like, yes, quartz is not quartz out of the ground from a freaking crystal. It's not a crystal, but it is a type of glass, but it's not the same glass as it's in your freaking window. What's in your window is like a really like sodium-rich glass that has a really, really low melting point with a lot of impurities in it to make it easy to work with.
Well, and even in the glass world, there's like, you have soft glass workers, and then you have boro glass workers, basically.
Borosilicate
like,
is like a little bit more pure, that has a little bit better heat
it's
retention.
all about
and
the
stuff.
COE, boro COE 33, I believe, and then everything else is like above that if it's soft glass, and then if you're going down to quartz, it's going to be more around like single digits, 0.
Right.
I don't think it's 0, but it's like really low.
I don't think anything can be absolutely pure. Which, like,
Everything
jumping
can
back
be
to the Evan
pure,
Short banger, there obviously has to be something else in this other than quartz
Well, it's fume.
or quartz glass fumed. Okay, well, what does fumed mean then?
Fume is heating the metals until they turn into a gas, and then spraying that gas all over your shit, and then encasing
Stains on it.
Yeah, basically. You're staining it with the fume from heating the metal. But that's a
Wonder
whole
what
nother
metals were used on
conversation. Usually
Right.
they use gold and silver fuming. That's the two main, and between those two metals, depending on the saturation and the time, like, you can get a broad range of colors out of them, which
Right.
is pretty cool.
The one thing I do want to say is Evan Shorebanger does chemically test all of his bangers to make sure that none of them do off gas. So we are safe when you do dab off them, especially the ones like this. But, ooh.
So this right
Matt
here,
had a-
this is all fume. All the different colors that you're seeing in here,
Right.
the yellows,
It's
the
all just
blues, the
sprayed on it.
greens, like that's all fume. So
Okay.
you can get a pretty good range of colors.
That's a really pretty rig.
Yeah, glassmith. Pocket bottle, baby.
I've seen those. I really like the Chappelle banger hangers. They're a little small, but they just
Oh, I
look
love
really,
mine.
really cool.
Yeah.
Like that. There's that green one on there. I like that one. I do.
Well, let's see. Vinter posted this, getting into some weed news. Seedless weed? I always have to
What?
just pick my seed out of weed. Like, you guys are getting weed without seeds in it? That's amazing.
Okay. Well, I think we should learn a little bit about where this comes from. I'm sure we all know that the flower we get that is weed all comes from female plants, which females don't make seeds by themselves, kind of.
I
But
mean, if you stress a female out enough, she'll pop some beaners, some seeds.
So if
some
you have a
nanners.
plant flowering for long enough, it will just start hermaphroditing out on its own, and it will actually start creating seeds, even without the influence of a male. So even naturally, everything will gain seeds. So what they have done is take that out of the equation. And I believe they even like made the pollen like not pollinate or something like that. Like I don't know what's the link
This
say.
is-
I had some crazy stuff in
This
it.
is cool. This is right out of Oregon, where I'm based here.
Oh, really?
It says, as experienced cannabis farmers know, the threat of cross-pollination poses one of the most severe risks to a successful season. Having a crop pollinated is a severe hit for biomass farmers. And this sounds more like people growing hemp in like fields where that kind of shit can happen. If you're growing like your 12 or 50 plants or whatever in your indoor spot, that
You have nothing to worry
probably, I
about.
mean, you it can still happen. I don't want to say it'll never happen. You could get like a big fucking pollen burst that somehow gets through your filtration system or something and plants a little bit, but I don't know.
Not even that. You
I
can
think this
stress
is-
them out to the point where they just become hermaphrodites, and then you have like a hermaphrodite even when it's not stressed.
Yeah. And
That can happen.
even if you like when people buy those feminized seeds and stuff, sometimes they're not always as stable as you would like the genetics to be, and that's when you really see that happen with minor stressors.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, this says you can the severe hit for biomass farmers: a loss of 50% of usable material and 30% reduction in average cannabinoid content, and catastrophic for anyone in the trim flower business. Of course, if you're trying to actually smoke that instead of just extract it, you definitely don't want seeds in it.
Right.
They say, what if farmers never had to worry about pollination events again? A team of scientists at Oregon CBD have made this dream a reality for 2021. assuming we make it that far. Following in the footsteps of plant breeders and other crops like watermelon, bananas, hops, grapes, citrus, etc., we're proud to introduce seedless cannabis varieties for 2021. So
it's going to be interesting. It's going to help a lot in marketing,
they
too,
call
because
them-
they won't be able to reproduce unless they clone.
They say these non-GMO triploid varieties are made possible through advanced ploidy screening. You screen for the little ploidies, and if there's no little
screen your
ploidies there,
ploidies.
then you know you're good. Any pollen that may escape your farm will not pollinate your neighbors because it is non-viable pollen. They say you get reduced costs because hiring crews to rogue males is no longer necessary. Increased yields up to 100% in some hop cultivars. That's pretty impressive. All right. More efficient use of inputs, increased copy number of key genes leads to hyper efficient plants. Fully compliant at day of harvest for total THC. They say that the total THC fraction is cut in half over previous type 3 plants with THC-VA in its place. That's pretty cool. But is that still a THC? I mean,
Federally, not.
Is it really?
Federally, THC will be defined as Delta 9 THC plus Delta 9 THCA.
Okay, but not the other. Interesting.
Not the
Delta
THC
8.
variants.
But
and
do they
other
fall
stuff.
under the Analog Act as considered
no,
analogs
because
of?
the hemp bill?
Okay,
The farm 2016 overrides that for cannabinoids.
nice.
Look at Mr. Smarty Pants over here.
I know, no, that's cool. That's good to know. They say rich in novel cannabinoids, CBDV, CBGV, and CBCV. 35 to
XYZ,
60.
PDQ.
That's right. 1, 2, 3. Easy as ABC. Photo period sensitive and day neutral autoflower varieties, so you can stagger harvests for September finishing times. And they say this is attained through traditional breeding, awaiting inspection, non-GMO project, and organ tilth.
Traditional breeding. They talking about fucking.
I mean, everything's kind of GMO, and you're manipulating genetics, so yeah, they kind of aren't GMO, but I can appreciate you trying to get that label because people are dumb and they want to buy things that are not GMO, even though everything's GMO, so whatever.
The fact that it is a non-wild strain, which I don't think that well, it does exist because I do know in the middle of America there actually is wild weed growing on the side of the highways. But the fact that it's a strain that has been touched by man before is a GMO.
Right in the
Everything's a
phenaloids.
GMO right now. The bananas you eat are a GMO.
Of
In
course.
fact, actually, the bananas are very similar to the seedless weed that we are seeing now in the fact of all of the bananas are a clone from a single it's like a banana cadaver.
Cavendish.
Cavendish, that's what it is.
Yep.
Sorry. The Cavendish banana comes from a single culture that was made in Europe like 200 years ago.
That's
or
all
something like that.
well and good, but what happens when that single culture gets fucking destroyed by something, some parasite, and it has no defense for it? Like, how's your...
It's happened before. That's why banana flavor, like in candies, tastes different from actual bananas now because it was based off the previous bananas.
Yep. They had to change it once already because it has happened. That is the actual downfall of having all of these clones, is they are all susceptible to the exact same thing. So when one of them gets it, they all get it.
How's that gonna end up in weed where like PM and other things are like a constant issue for places? Like you're just gonna, instead of losing part of your crop, we'll just lose the whole crop.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. When you screw up, you're going to lose everything instead of losing some things.
Well,
unless you have different strains.
It's a double-edged blade here.
It is. It's a very finicky line to walk.
I know,
that's for sure.
Vinter, you're all about the CBD. What do you think this is a good move?
I mean, it just means that the farmers aren't going to have to throw out like real bad batches because as if they test over 0.03% THC, then that's a batch they have to throw out. That's a waste of their money.
Right. Yeah. So if anything, it might lower prices.
Is that possible?
Yeah,
I thought prices were already like at the bottom. Are we digging a hole to go even deeper?
Well, I mean, you kind of got to think of it this way. Look how much a cell phone cost to talk per minute in the 1990s compared to now.
Yeah.
In the 1990s, it cost $100 a minute to freaking talk on the cell phone in a car. Now you can do it unlimited for $40 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember long distance?
Remember
all those different random codes people used to memorize to call long distance on the cheap? God,
1-800-CAL
we have come
ATT.
so far. You
Free
know
for
what?
you and cheap for them.
I will take COVID over having to dial codes to make long distance calls. I'm glad this is the future we're in. Fuck it.
Yeah, I am old enough to remember that. I don't know if many of our viewers are. That stopped in like what?
I don't know. I mean,
late 1990s.
I still remember rotary phones, so whatever.
I do too, though. But my parents are old as hell.
My grandma had one. My mom had one.
Yeah,
too.
My grandma had one too.
Next up, you guys heard about CBG, Bigirol, something like that.
Bigirian.
People are saying it's maybe the new CBD, but I don't know. It's a new cannabinoid. Article in Refinery 29 says, if you think CBD has taken over our lives these past few years, you'd be right. It's in our bathroom cabinets, beauty drawers. It's even infiltrated our tampons. Really? Yes, really. I don't know if you guys are using CBD tampons, but I know I am. I got one in right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, you stick it right up your, right up in your vag.
Right up in
takes
there.
The stand right out.
Yep, thank you. But CBD is just one of the many cannabinoid compounds found in the hemp plant. Of course, there's over hundreds of them. So it was only a matter of time before some other similar chemical began gaining traction in the wellness world, and it looks like that chemical is going to be CBG. Interesting. The next weed snake oil, perhaps?
You know what G stands for?
Girol. CBG is crazy when you
stands for Grandigen.
Extract it. It's very crystally.
Cannabinoid Grandigen. They named it after me.
Is that? I knew I was pronouncing it wrong.
Yep. You're pronouncing everything wrong. That's right.
A non-psychoactive cannabinoid typically most abundant in low THC and high CBD cannabis strains, including hemp, according to Cresco Labs. Oh, cool.
I mean, it makes sense because we see a lot more different THCs and high THCs things because they have they're allowed to put more THC into it, so they can put those smaller, minute things that we normally wouldn't see or would be too minute to even care about. So if you have the high CBD ones, you can see more of what CBD is actually in there or can be in there.
They say it's a slight chemical difference between CBD and CBG. CBD is often touted as a way for anxiety ease, improve sleep, relieve chronic pain. And the Cresco Lab, says that CBG works to fight pain and nausea, and it's a potent anti-inflammatory. It can help ease irritable bowel syndrome, studies have shown, and it may even slow the proliferation of cancer cells. One study says that CBG reduced the growth and development of colon cancer formation. Whereas I know everybody here likes their suppositories, maybe CBG suppositories will hit the spot.
I mean, we've all known that cannabinoids themselves have an anti-inflammatory property.
Yeah.
So they help with cancer in a sense, and they have shown to have some cancer-ish.
Right, but what we don't want to
properties.
see is a bunch of companies selling this high-price shit that is making claims that
they solve cancer.
Yeah, that's
it
not
may help. It's not going to 100% cure you. It's not. You can't just buy this and expect to be better.
Well, and then it gets a bad name, and then it gets lumped in with homeopathy, and you definitely don't want that because homeopathy is really just bullshit. So this actually is doing
this
something.
Actually can help.
Now, if you took CBG and you diluted it like 10,000 times, then you would have homeopathic CBG, which would be bullshit. But
because it's just such a minute amount, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it's
like it has CBG in it, but it's like 1/10 of 1,000th. Are you serious?
It's less than that. It's ridiculous. Dr. Greenspan tells Refinery 29 that CBG has plenty of medical promise. Quote, all of this still needs to be researched as it pertains to humans, of course, but the laboratory data is very exciting, he says, in reference to the laundry list of benefits. We're at the tip of the iceberg here. We have this inkling of a potential, and it's just starting to be studied. So that's pretty cool. It was definitely real hypey like 5-6 months ago, at least around here, because we were getting a lot of like CBG heavy material, and real interesting stuff. I'll post a picture of it. It's.
I feel like everything is always hypey when it first comes out because
Well,
it's like,
yeah.
oh my god, what the hell is this? Or
But
you have to try it.
I don't know. I'm more interested to see like what sort of like reactions can you do with CBG to get what sort of other cannabinoids out on the other end, since it is different than CBD. I think that would
What
be
do you mean?
interesting. Well, like with CBD, you can do certain reactions and get like delta 8 and delta 9 out. So I wonder if you did those same reactions, just shifting pH and cooking and stuff, isomerizing these other cannabinoids, if CBG as your starting isolate would yield something different than CBD.
We actually had somebody in the Discord chat talk about that. There's actually a patent for turning CBD
I'm sure.
into THC.
There's a patent for everything.
We actually have that link in the chat.
Oh yeah? Have you ever read
We
a
do.
patent?
I have, and this one is actually extremely detailed. Vint actually is the one who read it in very, very much detail, so I'm not going to even act like I actually read it at all.
Okay.
So Vint can chime in here.
Interesting. Well, I can summarize it. Basically, you just shift your pH, you cook it for a set time, and then you buffer your pH back. And then depending on what numbers you swung down to and what temperatures, and obviously they were starting, I think, in the patent with CBD. So if you say you're starting with CBD, then you'll get different amounts of D8 and D9.
I mean, it's just basic kind of chemistry.
They
right?
did it more
I mean,
sciencey than what I just explained, but yeah.
right,
it's-
but I mean, it's all cannabinoids that can be turned into different cannabinoids. They all are kind of starting as a cannabinoid and then progressing from there, so they can be regressed and then changed back.
Yep. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like Full Metal Alchemist over here, but like you can, I know you can change them. I don't know. I assume you can change them back. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm sure it's possible.
Can you reactivate THC?
I'm sure you could.
If THC has been activated and turned into THC instead of THCA, can you turn it back into THCA?
Well, yeah, because what are you doing when you're decarboxylating it? Why don't you just...
You're turning it into THC.
Right, but why? What are you doing that does that? You're dropping that CO2 molecule out. So if, I guess in theory, if you could recarboxylate it, then yeah, you could.
Is recarboxylation actually a thing?
I don't know. It is now because I just made it up.
It is now because I just made it up.
No, I'm sure it's a thing. It's got to be a thing.
That.
It's got to be a thing. I'm not that smart.
Could you imagine if Matt actually just came up with recarboxylation?
There's no way. I'll tell you right now. That's
$1 million idea. We're quitting the show. Screw you all.
patented. You just take CO2 and you spray it at the weed, and now you have THCA. I don't know.
It's THCA, man. It's just science. It's just science.
It's just science, dude. That's all my patent is. My patent is just science.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Well, moving into New York City, it looks like some people called 911 on marijuana smokers as COVID-19 has ravaged emergency systems.
Yep.
So they're just bitching about people smoking weed, and it's a goddamn pandemic going on.
I think what happened, they were told to call, if it's an emergency, like you're supposed to call 911. If it's non-emergency, obviously you call 311. I don't know if all states have that. I assume they do, but...
Wait, what?
311, non-emergency.
What the hell is 311?
It's non-emergency. If you need to holler at the police, but it's like not an emergency, like you're not bleeding out or something.
I've always just found like the actual phone number to the police station and you call the police
if you
station.
have time to do that, I suppose. But maybe if you're in the middle of like bleeding out, but like it's not really an emergency, then you just hit 311. But if you can get
if you're in the middle of bleeding out, but you're not bleeding out that bad,
right? Yeah, like you got
311.
pressure on the wound and you're holding it in, like you're okay.
It gives you a third of the priority as 911.
They say, according to new NYC.gov and the New York Police Department, the act of smoking weed qualifies as an emergency, and citizens should call 911 to report it. This instruction helps ensure that a stark racial disparity in arrests continues and also raises the risk of nonviolent crimes escalating into problematic and potentially dangerous confrontations. Yeah.
That's stupid. Exposing them because somebody's smoking weed.
Come interrupt my sesh when I'm smoking, and we gonna have a dangerous confrontation.
We're gonna throw
We're gonna throw hands. It's also yet another example of how police resources are used and perhaps misused in New York City for lack of any better alternatives. There's simply no one else to call. Could you imagine if there was like a group you could call and they were like maybe like volunteer firefighters or something, and they like just bring a fucking fire extinguisher and they just
God damn you.
Ghostbusters, call him Zam.
God damn you, Zam. I was going to make the joke and it was going to be
You gotta be
funny,
quicker than the chat, bro.
and you were talking, so I couldn't get in.
This is a
But
talk
no,
show.
you just couldn't wait, and now I'm not funny, and I look like an ass to the people.
Why are you always
Thanks,
biting?
Zam.
Why are you always biting Zam's jokes, bro? For many years, New York City was the most inhospitable city in the U.S. for weed smokers. As the ACLU reported, marijuana possession was the most frequent reason why a New Yorker would be arrested there.
New Yorker.
Year in and year out there, New York led the country in marijuana arrests, with busts double the national average. At least most of that was supposed to have ended a year ago because cannabis possession has been decriminalized in New York State since last August. Anyone caught with 2 ounces of weed, or 2 ounces or less of weed, can expect punishment similar to a speeding ticket, a court summons, and a fine, but no arrest or incarceration. However, the act of smoking cannabis is still a crime, and anyone caught smoking weed outside can still be arrested. How did they slip New York? How did they slip that through on you guys?
I have some insight on this. So when I got married, I went to New York for a honeymoon. Well, we went to New York to get on a cruise ship to go on a honeymoon. And I looked up the laws because I wanted to know if I was able to carry stuff over and if my card would keep me like, okay. And my card does help me, but they cannot physically smoke marijuana.
That's so weird.
Now, where that comes into play is you can eat it as edibles and you can vaporize it. So if you're dabbing, you're completely okay. You can dab. You cannot smoke. So you can't roll up a joint and spark it. If you spark it and you are combusting, you are breaking the law. At least to my knowledge of when I went there.
That's very reminiscent of the marijuana tax stamps that you had to get. If you wanted to grow weed, you had to like get a stamp, but they weren't giving out stamps, so nobody could grow weed. Like, it totally reminds me of that.
Right, yeah, like Zam says, you can buy pods and stuff like that. You can vape it, but you cannot smoke it.
Yeah. That just seems like a weird nitpicky thing.
It's so weird. Like, what? Like, there's so much more to go wrong in a pod. Not that pods aren't great. They're great for convenient. I mean,
but nothing beats just like combusting some fucking pre-run, you know?
But there's so much more to go wrong and chance for things to get contaminated when you're making an e-juice and turning it into a vaping product compared to just having the flower itself, which is, combusting is not as healthy as vaping either, but you know what I mean? There's a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I literally almost burn the house down every time I light my lighter because fire is so fucking dangerous and unpredictable. Like, it's crazy what this lighter does sometimes.
I hate you.
So just know that if you're in NY, your neighbor's a snitching. Your neighbor's a snitching.
Bad.
Don't smoke because they gonna snitch on you.
You know, like, unless you live at the penthouse, you can't smoke.
Yeah, if you have a balcony, then you're probably okay. If you have a doorman that lets you into your building, probably okay. But just know your neighbors, they watching you. We have a Florida woman allegedly battered her father and attempted to grab his genitals during an argument over. Are we on the jam hole? This is like a jam hole story.
Whoa there.
Over him
grab dicks?
Not sharing his medical marijuana with her. You ever grabbed?
So she grabbed his wiener?
You ever grab dick for not getting weed shared with you?
You ever grab dick for not sharing weed?
Cops allege that Dakota DiRinzio, 22, tangled with her father, Luigi. It's Luigi. 59, inside his residence at the Pelican Way Mobile Home Park in Sebastian. As detailed in an arrest affidavit, the younger DiRenzio reportedly told police that she and her father were, quote, involved in an argument due to him sharing his medical marijuana with his friends, but not her. That's cold.
I don't really understand how that works. I mean, as a man, like, let's just walk through this real quick. Give me your weed.
No. Ouch, my balls.
Give me your weed, or I'm gonna grab your wiener. No.
No. Be gentle. I don't think you would like.
Grab it?
I don't know. When I read that, I feel like she wasn't like doing him any favors. I'm pretty sure
I feel
it
like he was just trying to get a pee-pee touch.
She was probably trying to geld him.
Like, is this Rob? What is it? Not fucking Rob. Yeah, it's Rob Schneider on The Great Zohan. One pee-pee touch.
One pee-pee. Luigi's girlfriend told cops that Dakota attacked Luigi by pulling him down to the ground and attempting to grab his genitalia.
I mean, then, like, okay, I won't share my wiener with you then. Attack me and grab my wiener.
Yeah. I mean, but that's your kid, too. Like, can you imagine if your kid just came at you and tried to, rip your dick off?
Yeah.
For
this
weed?
This is a Pornhub. We aren't on the incest kick here.
Over weed?
Never mind.
Yeah, no, this is not a happy grab. This is a bad grab.
This is a tear and go away grab.
She's only 4'11". She suffered scratch marks on her back during the incident and was arrested for misdemeanor battery.
Well, because she was trying to tear off his wiener.
Yeah. She said.
What do you expect?
On her Twitter page.
What?
On her Twitter page, it says there's a photo of a large weed bud, while one post includes a quote declaring, "I don't smoke to party or to just get high. I smoke because of the way I look at life when I'm high." Damn. You, sir, have raised a very nice child. A stripper.
You have raised the bar. Good job, sir.
And a stripper.
Daddy issues.
Do a little search and seizures before we wrap this up. Pretty big bust on the border. Where was this? 4 tons concealed in ketchup.
Wow.
Did we talk about this? I feel like we talked about this before.
No, we have not.
Was it hidden in a different weed or a different food?
It was hidden in like
a different condiment.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
How did they hide it in ketchup?
Wrapped up, dog.
Dude, they like wrapped it once and then wrapped it in a layer of ketchup.
And then put it in ketchup. Haven't you watched the Netflix show Drugs? It tells you step by step. This is out of Texas. Cartels often try to get creative when hauling drugs across the border, but U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents outsmarted them this week in Farr, Texas, with a PH, like fat. CBP K9 team sniffed out 7,645 pounds, which is about 4 tons of weed concealed in a commercial shipment of ketchup arriving from Mexico.
Commercial shipment of ketchup. You can't even trust your goddamn condiments anymore.
The huge haul has... I haven't had a ketchup with weed in it. What the fuck? The huge haul has a street value of more than $1.5 million. Is that counting the ketchup?
I don't know.
Ketchup.
It's at least like 1.6 then.
Right? While drug smuggling organizations try to be creative in finding ways to conceal their illicit merchandise, CBP officers continue to effectively apply inspection skills and technology to prevent narcotics from crossing our borders.
Sam's got a point. They probably just weighed the ketchup with it and then charged it for all weed.
Yeah, they do. Some places will weigh the container you keep that shit in, for sure.
That's messed up.
The source of the shipment is still being investigated. They found it in a tractor trailer that crossed the Farr-Reynosa International Bridge on the 21st. So, if your ketchup or your weed in Texas has not shown up yet, it's probably at the border.
You should probably call a lawyer.
We had a smaller bust out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Another traffic stop. Of course, be careful when you're out driving. 11 pounds of weed along with hundreds of edible marijuana items discovered in a vehicle during a traffic stop. Sheriff Terry Wagner said deputies stopped the car in the eastbound I-80 near mile marker 394. Deputies had probable cause to stop the car, and during the traffic stop where they developed suspicion that the driver may be involved in criminal activity. And when they searched it, they found 11 pounds of weed, 10,000 THC gummies, 504 cans of THC wax, 272 1-gram vapes, 576 Rice Krispie treats, and 37 cookies, all with the weed in it. That's a lot of junk food.
Yeah. Edibles sell really well.
A lot of mids. Yeah. Yes, they do.
What else we got?
35 years old. He's facing delivery with the intent to deliver drugs charges.
35. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's definitely delivery with intent.
One out of Peabody, Massachusetts. 1.2 million in edibles and oil and stuff. It's funny. I remember like when I was younger, you'd kind of see stories like this, and it was always just like bricks of weed. And now it's like all this fancy packaging and like fucking high shelf fucking gummies and like real delicatessen kind of shit. It's really, yeah.
Yeah, that is funny. It's all like actually nice package now because people get standards, yo.
Yeah, this one was a couple running a large-scale weed distribution business out of their home in Peabody, where they had young children. Of course, you got to add that in. And Danvers Recording Studio, he pleaded not guilty to trafficking and other charges. They were indicted earlier this year in connection with the alleged operation, along with a third person from Salem. The indictments include marijuana trafficking charge stemming from the discovery of more than 200 pounds of weed, vape oil, and 137 grand in cash money in the recording studio Maximum Sound back in 2018. If you recorded there, you're probably on a list.
You're probably on a list.
While that case was pending, investigators learned that Siafi was still allegedly operating a drug distribution business out of his home, where he and his wife live with their children, ages 6 and 9. A raid last October turned up what officials estimated was 1.2 mil worth of drugs, including 119 pounds of weed, 7 pounds of oil, THC-infused candy, hallucinogenic mushrooms, oxys, and thousands of vape cartridges. Damn.
Well, shit.
Like the whole spread.
The whole spread.
And then the last one before we wrap this up, I was curious to see if maybe Tooth knew anything about this, because this one up in Canada, it's in his neck of the woods there. But a rig was trying to cross the Peace Bridge, like with cement, like a cement truck. But it wasn't cement. There was a bunch of weed in the containers.
Nice.
Driven by a 45-year-old Canadian guy attempting to cross into the U.S. on Wednesday. The shipment manifest listed the contents as cement, but when officers inspected the dozen wooden pallet boxes, they found vacuum-sealed packages of the weed.
Good job.
Real bricks. Agents seized the weed, and the driver was denied entry into the country. He was sent back to Canada. Canada was like, have a seat, buddy. They're valuing this weed at $6 million. Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Must have been some good shit.
That's what they want you to think.
Well, let's wrap this show up, Maddie.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Email info@hotboxpodcast.com if you have any comments or any stories you'd like to submit to the show, stuff for us to talk about. And make sure you're subscribed in iTunes and on YouTube. You can find the show on Stitcher and Spotify as well. Definitely come hang out with us in the Discord chat throughout the week. Got a great community in there. We're all just hanging out, bullshitting about weed and games and all sorts of stuff. So, get your dabs and get your entries in for the next giveaway. And
that announcement will come up soon.
Yeah.
And for all you VIPs, I will be moving over there.
Oh yeah,
this up.
Gonna rip this fucking ESB water tech.
We gonna find out if it's real or not, and then the rest of you guys will see on the next episode what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, y'all. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Have a good one, guys. See ya.